Sup, I'm a metalhead, and I grew up listening to a bunch of punk music and emo music and the most like metal type versions of that. So a lot of metalcore and a lot of post-hardcore, that which is very similar. So yeah, that's what I grew up listening to. I am doing a bunch of classics. I'm going into Deftones is one of the classic discographies that I'm planning on doing, which is Pink Floyd, Beatles, um, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, Deftones, Radiohead. I think those are the six to start out because they're a part of the 150 classic albums that I want to be finished and do a reaction to before the end of the year. So I'm going to start with the first Deftones album. I'm doing chronologically. Deftones is a band that I've listened to a tiny bit due to the fact that they Good Things 2022 festival had Deftones as the headliner alongside with my favorite band, Bring Me the Horizon. So I listened to some of their songs, some of the more popular ones that you would hear on a set list, like Sex Tape, Cherry Waves, Changes, that sort of thing. But I haven't heard I don't think I've heard a single song from Adrenaline. And since this is the first album, this is the one we're gonna do. So I'm kind of going like really blind. All of their albums are considered classics and have classic ratings on Album of the Year and all of the rating websites and by critics. So, I have high hopes. Let's get into it. I feel like Deftones is like super unique, and it's one of the reasons why I had it as one of the discographies that I labeled as classic that I would go through. Is like this came out in 1995, right? So it came out like 1 or 2 years after In Utero, and it has some of the influences of it. But something about Deftones is the influences kind of feel like they've due to like Linkin Park being inspired by Deftones, which is what Mike Shinoda has said, and then Bring the Horizon being inspired by Linkin Park, and all of these bands being like having all these influences, where Deftones kind of feels like one of the patient zeros of their influence. They feel so much more fresh than the stuff at the time, where like their riffs, this sounds very similar to like grunge music from the time, 95 with the riffs and stuff like that, like In Utero-esque stuff. But their vocals is so unique, and I don't sadly forget his name. It starts with a C, but like the lead vocalist of Deftones is such a unique sound that his music already within the first 40 seconds feels a lot more timeless than a lot of the other rock from the time where I feel like I can place it. I assume it's the case. I would be kind of surprised if it wasn't. Korn is also on the classic album list, but I went to Korn for Good Things 2024 with my girlfriend because Korn is one of her favorite albums, bands, and Deftones kind of actually has like vocally, I feel like influence from Korn. I'd be surprised if they weren't influenced vocally from Korn. They kind of feel like a they feel incredibly influential themselves, but they feel like they take from a lot of new metal stuff like Korn or grunge stuff from like Nirvana, and they meld it together to have into their own unique style that ended up being super influential. And those are two very good foundations to make really captivating music, I feel. Mm. Though when I was first listening to this, I was appreciating on like a academic level it feels, which I find with a lot of classics. I get a lot of enjoyment from that academic like appreciation, right? But holy fuck, I knew that it was like somewhat similar to from listening first for seconds, like somewhat similar to Korn and Nirvana in that sense. But then getting because at heart, despite what my reactions have always been about on this channel, which is like rap and like delving into new music like pop and stuff like that, I I'm getting so much more of like my roots, the stuff used to listen to. Like I fucking love Linkin Park. That was my first band that I loved to death, and it shattered my fucking soul when Chester Bennington died. I remember died. I remember waking up when I was like 13, 14, and running to my mum's bedroom and crying over it because it was like the first band that I felt like fully ingratiated with. Where I just love everything. Um, and like the riffs, the vibes, everything about Deftones, it feels like a lost band. That why didn't I know about this? I remember showing Deftones during 2022 to my mum, and I was just like, "Have you heard this before? It sounds so familiar." Uh, and mum's like, "I don't know if I know any of these songs, but yeah, like this sounds like something I've heard before." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's from this time, etc." Giving like, I was like, "They're incredible." And it just took until this point for me to actually sit down and listen to some of their albums um, instead of just the songs on their set list. And dude, like I feel, I feel like my childhood was not because of anything, because usually this sounds like a criticism of my parents, but I feel like my childhood was lost because like this would have been my band. Like I listening to this, I just know this would have been my 100% would have been my band. Along like yeah, oh. Ah, it's it's so good. Oh, it speaks to my soul. It's like there's like new music that I've been listening to. Like, is this it by the Strokes I listened to yesterday, and I think it might be one of my favorite. Might be my favorite album, or like best album I've ever heard, alongside Dark Side of the Moon, right? But there's something just like core where it feels like, oh, I'm so glad I picked a Deftones album today because it's like to my core, this is my music, bro. This is my music. Ah. Uh, I'll pause it and I'll go back. But like, gee, oh my god, I forgot I was. This is what I've been missing because I've been listening to so much new music that I've adored because it's create like on an art perspective and like an art way and a music way. I love seeing like how music like forms over time with like how it iterates within itself and like who was the influences and where did they take from like a few days ago I listened to the Pixies and realized like holy fuck, I thought Nirvana was like so trendsetting with how they did it, but it's like no, they stole just most of their shit from the Pixies and all this sort of stuff, like giving me more information on how all of this world works and like how every single genre works and all this sort of stuff, and the history of everything is so rich and beautiful, and I just love art so much, and I appreciate that part of it, all of that. Um, but like, I feel like I've kind of just forgotten. Like, the reason I started loving music was because of music like Deftones, because or more importantly, like I guess like the bands that were inspired by Deftones, my like Linkin Park, and by Linkin Park Bring the Horizon. Like this is the reason I loved music. This is like the start, and it's just such a fun callback to that time that like Deftones wasn't a band I listened to, but they just feel like my high school. It feels me growing up. It feels like in high school in Australia it's grade 7 up, so like basically middle school and high school. Like this feels like for Americans like middle school and high school to me. Um, Even though I never knew Deftones existed until like 3 years ago. But this just feel I love it. Oh. Like I didn't even play these games a lot, but like like it's giving me so much nostalgia, the this sound, because like it just do you remember like on if I don't know how old some of you guys are, but like on PlayStation 1 or play the first Xbox, right? There was these like motorcycle games. This sounds like that music, and that's oh, like the grimy. I don't know if that's the right term, but like the guitars being that grimy and like oh, I just love it.
Feeding, I lean back, head rested on the couch's top. Must leave the house soon, mean wrong, cause my pop sees hot. Grab my blue backpack, my Walkman, grab my bicycle, because I know my friends are waiting at the door. I'm feeling loose like you, just fucking around and shit. Took that crush on 55 on 26.
This feels like it's alright because I do ratings while I do this, right? Like this feels it's impossible because I just have such a bias towards it. Like this, like if you watch any of other my reactions, I get really passionate about music. So like in general, it might be um not too dissimilar to my other reactions, but like nah, there's just something different about this. There's just something different about it, and it feels like I try and do like objective music ratings and stuff like in some regard, but like I just I like this is amazing, bro. Like this I like if I'm being honest with myself, it probably isn't Dark Side of the Moon good, right? But emotionally, hits me so much harder, um, and that is gonna get factored into like a rating. So it just like it feels so clinical and so like ugh, to rate something this intrinsic to what feels like my being as a person. Because fuck me, this is some. I love it. I wonder what what I've listened to. Like it just everything sounds so familiar. Um, I just love it. I just love it so much. But like, what have I listened to that has vocals similar to what was just played here? Like muffled. It's there's like a distortion. Um, like it's not necessarily distortion. It's not necessarily distortion. It's like muffled. Like you kind of miss over someone like that sort of shit. I wonder what reminds me of that I've listened to a lot. Because it's not like Linkin Park because Linkin Park was a lot more polished. Yeah, I don't know, but like, oh, that feels so good. Is it like I haven't even listened to much of it, but like is it like kind of like maybe Slipknotish? Where like yeah. Mm, mm. The it's like the way that they do the bass and everything is just so clean and when like not clean in a sonic sense, but like clean in a technical sense that it just feels so fresh. Like this feels like it could be released today. 100%. The only difference would be like we have more electronic shit and that stuff, but like that's about it.
Nerve, here I born, feeding on his love. Verve is his curse because he wanted it to meet Christ alone. You're no good. We could be so close. Misunderstood. We could be gone. In my bones, we could be so close. Misunderstood because we want to be kind alone, but you will. You'll never find me. Reach onward, never come what me burns. Never bitch cost show. Never will I
It's so hard because even if like even if like maybe I prefer bored over the last two, right? It feels impossible to rate this lower. I kind of had this with Is This It? There's like a few songs I think I like a bit more, but it doesn't make them any less perfect. Like it unlike because I think like with art there's objective and subjective, right? There's your like subjective opinion that informs what you like, and then there's I think like in general what we consider like objectively good music, with influence, technical proficiency, timelessness, like all these things. It's like hard to quantify all these things, but we like know there's an underlying truth there, right? With this, I feel like if you said this is the best song off the album, it's like yeah, I like there is no bone in my body that believes that you're wrong. Or there's no bone in my body that thinks that like, oh, I like there's no, you're not like denying an underlying truth or to the music or something. That is purely subjective, which makes me believe that like if I prefer bored over this, these ratings should be the same because my level of like human error and bias is the only thing that's dictating it as. Obviously, that's like if we're doing everything, all art is subjective and biases influences everything, but like um, not in like a broad and like metaphysical or metaethical perspective, just like day to day like colloquial speech. I feel like my bias is just I like bored a tiny bit more, but like this is just as good. Um, yeah, it and that brings me to hard parts because like with Is This It, all of that stuff's rated the highest I can possibly give it because like if I have preferences for certain tracks, they're not preferences of quality. It is just preferences of for whatever reason I am aimlessly picking towards that. Um, and same with this. This is such an amazing track. This is such an amazing track. And it feels like I would be doing a disservice to it, right? If I was doing an album, like when I'm doing my album review, or album rating, that this song gets lower. It feels like I'm doing a disservice to it because it is just as good. It is, yeah.
Under, beneath the floor, before his face, 'cause you're no good. We could have been like one. Makes you feel sore. We could be.
And as I say that, they move to this, and it's just, oh, yeah, it's yeah, I love it. It has this. This Deftones are amazing. Like it is so ferocious that it makes me want to headbang like any other fucking metal music. Um, and Deftones is necessarily metal, but like it gives me all of like the just ravenous angst and fucking ferociousness that any other band at the highest level of that would. But then it has this like undercurrent of his vocals that are just like very shoegazy, obviously, and stuff like that, where it's just like, I just feel like floating as well. Like the perfect culmination between bundling like this like ethereal dream sort of floating alongside ferocious like chaos and just wanting to break shit. There is no band that is able to intertwine those two feelings better than Deftones. They're like no one. It doesn't. I don't think I've ever come to someone with that's close. I still have to listen to like Loveless or whatever, but like I, to my personal experience, I've never like this whole unique that being able to, and these are two contrasting. That should be oil and water, but they're able to meld them together, and it honestly to the point where like it kind of actually is oil and water, but synchronicity, with a synchronicity. It is just like it shouldn't work, but it does, because they're so opposite at pulling things. Where it's like I kind of want to float, and I kind of want to just fucking break shit. it's that's just so fun. Also like um the most interesting part, like one of the interesting parts about this is I'm pretty sure like this is considered one of like the lesser albums, um, critic and rating wise. Because obviously there's Round the Fur and then there's White Pony and those are I feel like the two that are listed the most, but despite the fact that all of them are rated unbelievably high. Deftones self-titled, which I feel like doesn't get mentioned actually too much from my experience. Um, but still, I kind of feel like I love the maybe the reason that I don't like it is it's like messier sort of thing. But like I feel like there is a synchronicity with the sounds that they're trying to do that just fucking clicks with me at least. Um, yeah, this is so good, so good.
You're no good. Sitting around for a fucking fag.
Is that is a part of the reason why it's rated a bit lower is like some of the tracks like I didn't notice it in the like set list tracks, but in this I kind of noticed it. Is it rated a tiny bit lower maybe? Because like there is a stronger corn influence than the other ones. Like I remember with Pablo Honey, right? I think that's a really good. I think that's a pretty. Yeah, it's a really good album. Um, but Pablo Honey, I feel like that's rated lower due to the fact that like Tom York doesn't like it, and then there's that parasociality where all fans will say they dislike it as well. But like also on top of that, um, I think it's because like they wear their Led Zeppelin influence on their sleeve. Like you can tell that they're inspired by Led Zeppelin. Um, and is this album like considered like a um like lower rating wise due to the fact that like it kind of does sound like they're wearing corn more on their sleeve? I don't know. That's like my guess because like musically it is amazing. I love it. So yeah, I'm just curious. This is the most I've ever had to fix my hair and fix my light in my life in a reaction. I've just been banging it around so much. Mm. Mm. That track, I loved it. It's I liked the more, I guess, like more quote unquote like experimentals sort of side of it. Well, like there was like more noise rock stuff in it, and there was like longer passages, which I'm not opposed to whatsoever. Um, hmm, yeah, I really like that. I really like that one, even if I wasn't like banging around as much as the first tracks. Groovy as fuck.
Watch me with your eyes, been getting got a bit of fire. I want to be just like you, then I'd be cool. Maybe not, but we left our eyes big surprise, kiss me goodbye. Oh. Without you being here, I've been getting fear, bit more. I wish I could feel like you when I fuck like you. Did it so, but you left our eyes big surprise. Kiss me goodbye. Thank you for every knuckle wiping to her. I know if I get more stuff, I will never get what I this gift of mine, receive string unwind. Eyes are cut, part of me gets pissed, a part of me gets sore, part of me gets pissed, a part of me gets sore, part of me gets pissed, part of me gets sore.
Like, it feels weird because I feel like I don't know, more critical than I should be because it's still really good. Um, but I would like, because every like the start of this was beyond perfect, like some of my favorite songs of all time. This here is like really good. Like if I heard this from like a band now, I would listen to it, but like, yeah, this is pretty good. Like if you like this is it's like valid as fuck. But like um yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't live up to the other tracks as much. Like it doesn't feel like it connects and is as cohesive as the other tracks. Uh, all of the same elements are here, but the connective tissue just feels a tiny bit more severed than the starting tracks, where it feels like they were gloriously interconnected. Like they were like Wagyu A5 beef level of marbling, where like this has like some decent marbling and some really good meat, but yeah. The second half of that song was better than the first half. But yeah, like I guess like reiterating just what I said, like the flesh of this is still like up there with similar as like the other tracks, but like the connective marbling feels like a tiny bit lower, which feels it just it doesn't it feels ugh, to talk about because I love it. So I don't like being critical about or anything or like saying anything that isn't like, oh, this is perfect, and amazing about like a band that I'm already in love with. Um, it just, yeah, that doesn't feel good, but that's my like that's how I feel about the tracks. But I don't want to say them that, but that's why you come here. I don't think I'm like super off base. Yeah, actually, it makes sense because this is a new metal album. I feel like this is a new metal album. It's so like compared to like obviously like Saturday Night Drive because I've heard Jerry Waves. It's not a shoegaze album, which I feel like Deftones flirts with a lot. This is definitely a new metal album, and considering Korn is the first new metal band, it makes sense. Like this sounds like Korn, but this sounds like a really good Korn song. I haven't listened to a lot of Korn, but like this sounds like a really good Korn song. So like I fuck with it. To my knowledge, I feel like this is like one of the more popular ones off the album for sure. Yeah, this is really good. It makes sense. Like yeah, there's like I can kind of tell. I don't know if System of a Down is new metal. But it kind of is like it feels like a Korn new metal, not like a Linkin Park new metal to me. I can kind of see how like this sounds like Korn, and in the same way that this sounds like Korn is the same way that like some songs from System of a Down sound like Korn. Um, all I know is that that is just making me think like fuck Korn kind of based, despite the fact that like when I look up on rating sites and stuff, I think they have one of the lowest like average album ratings of all time, despite the fact that like that apparently like their first two or three albums are really good. Because they just apparently release a lot of, according to critics, bad music. But it's like, damn, Korn is influential. obviously this seems to be the case when I'm listening to a lot of like the start of discographies from legendary bands and stuff like with Radiohead, right? I like Pablo Honey, but I feel like actually to be fair, I like their Led Zeppelin sort of influences a lot there too. But like I feel like with a lot of these bands, and when I first listened to them, it's like they it makes sense that they started becoming their own band and wearing their influences on their sleeve more because I prefer the sounds that I've heard on this album that feel more Deftones than feels like Korn, despite the fact that I really like this track in particular. But like, yeah, like I am happy that they started like I guess like innovating more and like off this album clear like I don't know if this is the case because I haven't listened to the other albums but at least the songs that got popular it's like they got popular probably due to the fact that they sound like Deftones, they don't sound like other bands, and I kind of like how I don't know they were able to hone in more, or that's my perception so far, that they were able to hone in on later albums their sound. Now that could be wrong, but that's my read off of it at the moment, and that's kind of like if they did do that, I appreciate that. That's like cool. Despite the fact that like I love this song though.
We go with Jesus in a bowl of jerk.
Mm. I've realized like it's on my classic album list, but I need to listen to some Korn too. The bass here is so cool.
I'll never be the same. Taking decency. I'm done being tree jumped on, follow my living roots. I've been humming too many words. Got a weak self-esteem that's been stomped away from every single dream. But it's something else that brought us peace. Keep it all inside so we feel we can't unleash. But I think that you made it up. I think that your mind is gone. I think you should have glorified. Out here alone, face flat along the edge of the grass.
Ooh.
Well, I'm not
I don't know. I don't know if this is like this part of the like the vocal style. I don't know if this is taken from somewhere else, but like the way that he um was saying those lyrics there, I've heard in Bring the Horizon songs a lot, which is a cool little connection. I love as I was talking about with what with my passion like being passionate about music and stuff like that, and that's part of my passion is like being able to find these like little nuggets of like connection. I like it.
preach. I'm just sick of drugs. My parents made me strong to look up that glass. So why should I try? Act like I'm
That it's so interesting because like I feel like the spoken word passages in Bring Me the Horizon, he's clearly British, but this sounds British too. That's so funny because they're from Sacramento. They're from where my girlfriend's from. Like that's so funny.
to tell. With all that shit that needs to stay back in the shell. Your punk ass made it up. Now your fucking mind's gone. Should've never glorified. Now you're that you don't know me. Shut up, you don't know me. Squeal like a pig when you
Isn't he white? I could be wrong on this one. I'll look it up while I'm listening, but that's a bit weird, right? Okay. Alright. I looked it up. I looked up the genius annotation because I'm not, like, going to be devoid of context. I haven't been focusing on the lyrics because a lot of this stuff, I don't know. I feel like on the first listen, it is valid. I'm not, to get from like the vibe, the instrumentals, all that sort of stuff. That's the stuff that I focus on. Like sonically, do I fuck with this, and like what parts of it are like interesting to me, that sort of thing. So, and then like the more and more I listen to it, the more and more I get into the words. Right? That's how I function. But so I looked it up, and apparently um, it's in context of apparently portraying a racist police officer. So I think that's fine. Maybe it it makes it more understandable, I guess, at least. I can see why this is so highly streamed. Like this one feels unique, and it feels like it would just fucking pop off. It would pop off, like this like repetitive like suck with this level of angst is like that just goes hard at a fucking concert. That goes super hard. Mm. This is a great song. The last songs, they're great. It, I want, I don't know. I wish for you, obviously, for entertainment wise, and for myself, that I fucked these songs as much as the first three. Um, but I kind of don't. Like these are still great songs. If you are interested, it's like I'm rating them like an 8 out of 10. And like 7 out of 10, stuff like that. Which on how I rate is like 5 is okay, 6 is decent, 7 is good, 8 is great, 9 is amazing, 10 is perfect, 11 is greatest of all time, like top 500 song contender. That's how I work. But like the first like three songs were like 11s to me at the time. I'll have to go back and listen to minus Blindfold in 1 week. And Bored to see if they are that or if they're just tens to me again. But like my initial reaction was like, holy fuck, this is amazing. So I'm assuming that like they're gonna stay the same ratings. But I don't know. I just, I just kind of wish that if it like I could see that the quote unquote flaws of this record is something that someone could very much appreciate, where it feels like with the other songs it's the starting songs they felt like they had like a roughness to them and a messiness and a chaoticness that was intentional and perfect and and all of that despite the fact despite all like with all of that it didn't have any flaws. Well, like these songs have flaws, and I can see how you could appreciate this album for its flaws. The same way I think like Nevermind is I haven't listened to In Utero again, but like the way I could see Nevermind is like a more polished, perfect record. And then In Utero, I can see that you're like, oh, I like In Utero because of its flaws, right? Um, and still acknowledging that like there are some flaws. It's like less polished, it's less refined, but I like the little quirks it has. I can see someone having the same opinion of this album with these songs. Like it just they're just a tiny bit less polished and refined to me. The last ones, the last few songs. This is starting out to be like the first tracks. I will admit, like cohesively, this sounds it's interesting because like it kind of has like it's like harked back to like the sort of vibe that like the first like three tracks had, but it has like the same vocal effects that like Seven Words of Root had, right? And that's an interesting thing where like it's that kind of actually makes it feel like it's purposeful. Like that's this sort of thing is very much purposeful because they are deliberately incorporating these like elements that were dispersed throughout the album and now it's into this one song. While we're coming to like the end of it. That's kind of I kind of like that. That's nifty. I was that had the a lot more of the energy that I was fucking with at the start of the album for sure. I like that one a lot. I was like it still hasn't reached the same the start, but well, start of the album, but yeah, like that had a lot more of the same energy. Yeah. All right, a longer track. I used to not fuck with longer tracks as much before I listened to albums, but longer tracks are usually like the bee's knees when it comes to good albums. This feels so much more what I expect like a Deftones song to sound like. And I'm wondering if it has like quite a bit of streams. It doesn't. That's interesting. But like this song definitely sounds more like what like I expect Deftones to sound like. Hmm. It's hard because like this sounds like a Deftones song that I've heard from like maybe a set list, like maybe like a from their 2006 album or something, right? But just in like a bit worse quality. Um, but I really like those songs. So it just I was it just I'm intently focusing the entire time, being like, do I really like this? Because it just feels like it's just like falling a bit short every single time. But I don't know, I don't know. I started out this album so bouncy. Um, I don't know. It hasn't been able to like keep up the jumpy that I had. I don't know. Going on to the last track. Is this one of the more popular ones? I mean, yeah, it's not. Hmm. I like this. This one's pretty. I like this. See, this is like this what I was talking about. Like the last few tracks though, didn't have it. Like when I was at the start, I'm like, this sounds fresh as fuck. The other tracks didn't. I don't know. It sounded not, I don't know, mixing or something. I don't know. But like this has the fullness. This is full. Like I like it. I like this a lot. This is what I was missing. Like this, just I don't know, the guitars and everything, just feeling so full. Mm. Mm. This track definitely won me back. It's not streamed a lot, but I assume maybe it's because it's like a somber track. Kind of reminds me of like Endless Nameless in that way, where it's not streamed on Nevermind, despite the fact that that song is a banger. This one is really 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 good. I like it. It this is kind of what I was like. Yeah, this is what I was hoping for, like closing wise, because like I was starting to get like wishing more, wanting more, from the quality of some of the songs. But this one, I like this one a lot. I like this one a lot. It's not a headbanger, but it's a really good low key song. That was a nice experience. It's interesting because like this is the first record, and I feel like I've been spoiled by debut albums from other artists, where like like a lot of the time it seems like debut artists are like from like great artists. The debut album might be their best. Um, and from what I understand, this one is not their best, rating wise and stuff. But I can see the vision. There are songs here that just made me go fucking mental. Um, and Deftones, like I before I came in here, I remember talking about it in the last like year a bit. Bring the Horizon's my favorite band. Growing up, it was Linkin Park. Um, but I always had my eye out, like ever since going to Good Things. I had my eye out. I was like, I think Deftones could become my favorite band. And I still have that hope. I still have that belief that they could become my favorite band. Um, and this is a good little like dipping your feet in the water sort of album. Um, I don't know. I just hope like the next albums are a tiny bit more consistent in my like enjoyment. But I still very much appreciate this, and I like it's still. I'm still happy that I put it on the classic albums stuff, even if it was like put on due to the fact that I viewed Deftones as like a classic discography. I'm still happy that I listened to it and reacted to it. The starting of like as you'll know, like as you saw, start of this album, I I had a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, thank you for watching. I love you all. Bye.